Hi, Mr. C here. Back in the shop where we left off last video you had seen, we had glued up all your different panels for your advanced project. Now that makes up a base, a top, and two leg pieces, and this just happens to be one of the leg pieces, which is the next task that we have to go ahead and complete for us to build our project out. Now, as we had discussed in our chats online, I gave you the design problem of figuring out the tenons on the ends of the legs to make them lock in inside your top and bottom base mortises. Now remember, this is what your mortises look like, and they're supposed to get locked in here with a shoulder, and they have a cheek to the tenon. The tenons are going to measure 3/4 of an inch in width, 3/4 of an inch in thickness, 3/4 of an inch in length, and then the overall width is 13.5 to give them the shoulders they need for this. Okay? Then the matching tenons or mortises are on the top as well. That just happens to be the base because the base is a little bit lighter to hold. Okay? So, what I'd like to talk to you about is how we're going to go ahead and mark these out. We know, because you did the CAD drawings and you found the angle of the leg is at 73 degrees or 17 degrees, depending on which way you want to look at it. So what we can do is, we've discussed this in our private chats, well, not private, just with the class, that we're going to go ahead and use this protractor to go ahead and lay out our lines. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I set this at the dimension or the angle that's needed to go ahead and create the angles on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera device and kind of show you exactly what we did, okay? Or what is needed. Now, let me go ahead and adjust this just a little bit. That way you can see this a little bit better. Okay? Now, what we did is we used this to go ahead and set. Now what we did was first is we took this and placed the angle on this from the corner over and struck a pencil line, and then went ahead and shaded in this area because we know that this gets cut off. That's the first thing we did. Then what we did was we measured from here to here and found the exact center. Then what we did was we measured from the exact center right here and subtracted 3/8 of an inch here. And then what we did was we struck a pencil line along that line there. Then we went ahead and found the center and then added 3/8 of an inch to mark it here. And we struck a pencil line there and then shaded it in over here. So that gives us our two shoulders and our cheek to our tenon. Then we struck a pencil line here along from here to here is 3/4 of an inch. That allows us to know exactly how long or where the shoulder on the ends needs to be placed as far as the cut. Okay? And then what we did was we shaded in these areas so that way we know exactly what has to be cut off. Okay? So that being said, now the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and set up the saw. Well, let me go ahead and move you in a little bit closer. Okay? Now, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to move this out of the way. Now we have a few things here to help us out. Okay, we have a tri-square. The ruler we don't need anymore, we need that for layout. We don't need the protractor anymore, we have that for layout. And then we have an angle finder, or an angle gauge here, that's electronic. It has magnets on it, clearly, right? So what we want to do is we're going to take this and bring this over. And then we're going to go ahead and have this set exactly at 90 degrees, which is beautiful right there. And then what I want to do is this. I think that some of you have never seen this before, and I think it's a really handy tool to have. And that is this angle gauge or digital angle gauge. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and place this on here. Okay? And as you can see, it's off right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. I'm going to zero this out. So now it reads 0, 0. I need this at 17 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt this head, or tilt the blade, to 17 degrees. A little bit too far. 17.1. Move it a little bit more. 17.0. I'm going to tilt you over so that way, oh, clicked over. 17. There we go. Pretty sensitive. So now I'm at 17 exactly, and hopefully, as you can see here, 17 degrees. And the hand wheel I was using is this one on the side of the saw. This is the one, the handle or the hand wheel that will tilt the angle of the blade. So now I'm at the 17 inches. Or 17 degrees, I'm sorry. See how this is? So this will allow for me to go ahead and make some of my cuts on the table saw. So this is proper setup for our first several cuts that we're going to need to make on the legs to your cabinet parts, or to your table parts, I'm sorry. So in the next video, you're going to see how we go ahead and cut these parts on this table saw. Until next time, I'm Mr. C in the shop. See ya. Bye.